Okay.
to Stella.
Just shush until I hit record. All right. So, okay, we're recording right now. This is how do you, is Ky?
Ky, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Ky, I mean, you've been at base camp for a bit, I think.
A little
right?
bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I still, yeah. I mean, yeah. Right.
So yeah, this is the thing. So I can't even remember how we met, but I think was it through Stella? It's through somebody cool.
Through Stella. I think through Stella, and the last time I saw her was in Washington D.C.
Nice.
And had a really just neat conversation with her, and I don't know how this all. You know me, like in this journey, really, I wander and I kind of just witness what presents in front of me, and I kind of just step in and I'm all over. So it almost kind of overwhelms me sometimes, I'll admit, because there's so much to learn, there's so much information, and also you're learning, like, where do you really want to be a part of this, right? Like where is your passion, and what is it that you can deliver for people? So, like, you know, I try things, and I just kind of wander around, and then I see things, and I was like, I check in here and I check in there, like learning, and I encourage people to do the same and not be afraid to kind of step in and to just like explore things and explore meeting people and explore building these relationships, and then figuring out, then you figure out what's most fun for you to do, and that will eventually give impact because you're having fun. So I think that's kind of how I've been looking at it. So so anyway, met Stella, and then really got into Morty's, and I was seeing what was happening with the community, and it was a total like a joke token, and then I was like, but the community is like having so much fun.
Yeah. So tell me about, so they kicked us out of the Morty's Telegram channel. And I still talk to Kurt all the time. Like I'm totally cool with it.
Why is that?
Well, because I mean, we were like, if you come to base camp, we talk about Shipple and Morty's in the same sentence all the time. They hated that. Like, how dare anyone else have an idea or a different community? So they kicked us out. And that, I mean, whatever. That's an option that they have. But tell us, because we still have people in our community that love Morty's. I still love Morty's. I absolutely back anybody who wants to promote what they're doing, so I think it's fun. But give us an update. Well, like, what's Morty's been up to for the last month? Because I have no idea.
Well, Morty's kind of they did this really cool thing where they had they kind of collaborated with Sense Chat, and they have now a Sense channel, the Bribe, and I was kind of like putting bribes on there, and I'll get like a couple, and it really is just a creativity. What do you want to bribe people with? So you just really just have to sit down and like write a bunch, and I think that, and then I kind of came up with this idea, and what if all the Bribe kids collaborated? So if Shipple collaborated more with Morty's instead of like, how dare you? Like, I think with Crow, I think it'll be like, hey, we'll butter up the deal, Shipple and Morty's for the Bribe, right?
100%. So, that was my first thought, and I'm open to any of that.
Yeah, because I think we're uniting, and I think like we're gonna be the kids that are saying like, hey, like, we're having a lot of fun here. There's no anything else other than like what's happening right here. Like, hey, if you retweet this, you get this, period. Yep. And then we're experimenting. And so we're seeing what happens when you build communities this way. And then like now you're talking of building an incredible app like that, rooted from like having the courage to go experiment. So I think, I wanted to talk to you, and I pinged Stella to thinking of, because I am a part of a project, which is a DAC, which is a Decentralized Autonomous Community called Krown. And I was seeing like what was happening. I was just like, all right, cool. It would be a great idea to do like a 3-month. I sent my first worker proposal was to like do these bribes, but it'll be like Krown bribes. But I'm like, I think we should partner with people that are doing it, because there's only like a few of us that are doing these bribe things. So you got Shipple, you got Morty's, and you got myself and Krown, and anybody else who wants. But like, we just keep putting tokens in the pot, and they're all just fun tokens. And then we get community engaged and really have them figure out what's meaningful for them. It's about like figuring out what's meaningful for you. What are you excited about? And getting their feedback. Like, we have to talk to the community, see what their feedback is. And if this is fun, it kind of like gains incredible momentum, even bigger and bigger, and it becomes like a thing, then we'll all be like successful together. And that's sort of like the idea I came up with, that to like partner with Shipple and like just team up with you guys and be like, hey guys, we're gonna bribe you to do a bribe, like a Shipple bribe, or hey, we're gonna bribe you and it's gonna be Krown and Shipple and it's meme related. Like, so it'll be like kind of like a cross promoting of what we're trying to do here. And then when your app is launched, we have a community that's like thriving, that we're all friends. And that's sort of like that came to my mind. And so, cause I'm about to launch like I want to start doing bribes for the DAC, which is a great giant experiment. We are the first DAC using Luke Stokes' eosDAC technology. We launched on Main Net on May 22nd. It's created in Puerto Rico.
So for a total crypto noob, I have like a basic understanding, but I think I'm actually leaning towards the new thing. So, could you explain? Because I'm going to air this in Shipple Basecamp and on our channel. Could you explain a little bit about what the decentralized? Sorry, was it DAC stands for?
DAC, Decentralized Autonomous Community.
Autonomous Community, right? Could you explain sort of what that is and what what the benefits are?
1,000,000%. So a DAC is basically, if you think about it, it is a Dan Larimer coined the term in 2014, and I've just been learning. Like, I'm so new to like understanding what this is. So if I don't articulate well, please forgive me and do your own research. Do your.
And honestly, that's the thing. We're all learning by doing as well. So like
learning by doing, bro. You have
people understand.
You have to have thick skin, like to really just have the courage to like go for it. And so anyway, this DAC, so it basically is, if you think about it, that you have in a regular corporate structure, you have like your customers, you have your employees, and you have like the people that had invested, right? And those things are they're not aligned. So like customers want things for cheap, say, right? But they're not really a part of that corporation. They're the ones that are going to create value, like profit, because they buy the things.
Sure.
So then the workers, let me try to like simplify this, and this is great practice for me, so thank you. I want to be able to articulate this as best as I possibly can for the world and for the women. So and then you have your workers that like, yeah, they need the security, the insurance, whatever, and so they work and they come into work and they kind of grind, but they don't know what's meaningful for them. And so a lot of them kind of go home and they just like, what am I doing with my life, right? There's all these kind of questions that come, because again, it comes from like, what is meaningful to you and what increases your vibration because you're so excited to go and work on the things that you love. And then you have your investors, right? And the investors are like, they just want your return on investment. They want this thing to grow, and they want the workers and the customers to be really fun. So the decisions are made in the DAC is centralized. It's like in the top.
Right.
So they decide all the decisions, but they all really are, the decisions made are really to please one alley of this, which is the investors. We want more money, basically. Right. We want to grow, we want to whatever. And so in a DAC, in a decentralized autonomous community or corporation, company, whatever you want to call it, or organization, people have stake. So you have all these three stakeholders now can be a part and have stake in the company itself. So it is a community-owned corporation or company, right? So imagine if you have, instead of just a few people owning or a few investors owning a piece of this company, millions of people decentralized around the globe owns, and they have a say, they have a vote, they can vote. So you use a token as a unit of account. It's just a way of that. The tokenization is just a way to like unit of account is like, how do you say? And forgive me, I'm so bad.
No, you're good. No. So, and this is interesting because
that makes sense so far.
It really does. And so you know that I launched a token called the Mom token initially, right, as a test to see if I could do it, right?
Okay.
And I think I really needed to have this conversation with you because I've been trying to figure out what to do with it, right? And so the initial thing was, anybody who owns more than 1 EOS worth of Mom token, which is like, 3.5 Mom tokens right now. Until we get on DEX, they're worth $1 just because I say they are, and that's what we're selling them for. So, it would be a subscription thing. We're going to have like a D-mail, basically email list that you get on, and we're going to be doing information about all the projects, the inside kind of stuff. What I really wanted to do is everybody who owned more than one EOS with a mom token, I wanted them to be able to vote commensurate based on how much mom token they have on different aspects of how we grow the Shipple community, what we should focus on. And of course, I'm launching other stuff after, after Shipple, probably starting about 90 days from now. So is that something, like, could we plug the mom token into a DAC and then basically have people vote, on whatever we decide to, like, is there any way to integrate a token that already exists into the DAC type system? Because I think that would mesh really, and it'd be great to, again, learn by doing, right? I'd love to experiment with that kind of stuff and try and really understand it better.
Yeah. On the tech side, I'm a little, I wouldn't know how to tell you how to do it on the tech side, but I believe you can. So long as there's some compatibility thing, and again, Luke Stokes is kind of like the DACtivator. So he's the guy who
the what? The
DACtivator.
Nice.
So anyway, if you have any shared interest, anything that with shared interest can be a DAC,
okay.
Right? So whatever. So let's say, okay, let's just give an example. Let's see if I can run through this. So let's say with Shipple, you're building an app, and perhaps millions of people will be downloading this app in the future, and it will be very successful. And then you'll have people with vested interest in that community, and you kind of have. You'll have your, people that want to participate in building this app can send in worker proposals and say, hey, I can code it. Hey, I can do front end. Hey, I can do some marketing.
Oh man, Shipple needs this for sure. Because we've got 9 apps that we have designed in our brains and they all need to get built. So, okay, tell me more. Sorry for interrupting. Thank you.
No, it's okay. I'm still new. So I'm trying to, this is good practice for me. So basically, if I'm a marketer, say I make videos and I'd be like, hey, here's my worker proposal. I'm going to make you this video and I'm going to make you, for this much Shipple or Mont. What did you call it? The other token?
Mom.
Mom?
Yeah. Like your mom.
I love moms.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
I'm the biggest mom fan in the world.
That's honestly it's because it's the alpha, right? It's the first.
It's great.
All the other tokens come from mom. It's like the whole mother figure Gaia thing. Anyway, yeah, that's yep.
I love it, and I love that there's flying sheep over there. Anyway, so
yep.
So then people would, so the workers would be like, I'm doing something that I love.
Yeah.
I'm going to go earn these tokens and I'm going to send my worker. So now you're doing something that you love and it's completely autonomous. So you do it all on your own, whatever. And so your participation earns you these tokens that earn you stake, and then you can vote or run for or candidacy to be a custodian.
Cool.
Right. So you have a stake. The workers have a stake in the company. So everyone is basically invested in growing the entire thing. And you're talking as it grows, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people are now invested, that's meaningful to them in growing a company, not just let's say we work for Amazon and it's the corporate structure is you're confined. You don't have really a voice. So the customers the same way. The customers become workers because they can send in worker proposals. The customers become investors because they can be custodians and they can have stake. And so the people that are really gung-ho about building this app will stay and participate and talk about it and tell everyone about it. And now you have millions of people that own an entity versus a few. And you can't, if this succeeds, we're talking maybe 20 years from now, you can't really compete. A few investors versus millions of people that own a company. There's no, you can see how it's life.
Absolutely. No, that makes, I love that idea because it's basically taking to your point, it's taking that centralized control of a corporation away and allowing, basically decentralizing and turning into code the structures that work that way, but makes it kind of permissionless maybe, right? Makes it so that the community is actually able to build itself as opposed to just, having to be funneled through one person who's going to make all the money or one group of people. I absolutely love it.
And the tech makes it work because you could hire someone, you don't even know who they are, and they built you this great, I'm
telling you,
your logo and they built your app and you've never even met them.
That's the thing.
We love the project. Yeah.
Right. Shipple's doing that right now. We're just doing it in a really fucking unorganized way. That's, because we've got, we need to do it. That's,
you have to be unorganized to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
you're a maniac. savage enough to fucking try this. Sorry for the language, but like
no,
the people
hey,
that are willing to go and try and do community grassroots, it's crazy.
Yeah, man, and I love meeting other people that are doing the same thing and having like, because that's the thing, like we're in such an amazing frontier, right? Like there's the people like Kurt that could like literally code another internet before breakfast. Like fuck that guy. Like he's such a genius. But there's so many people with that capability, and I'm over here just like nah. I'm just like it took me 3 months to figure out how to make a token and also sheep. I mean that's basically the extent. But no, we get to all these technologies already exist, and it's just a matter of playing with them now, so that we can understand how regular people might use them, right? Like that's really the thing that I want to focus on. And this is just, and what I'm finding interesting too, like as we're growing the Shipple community, obviously I'm getting connected to a couple of devs now. Having Stella around is amazing. I mean, you met her; she's
so great, so good.
She's legendary. But like you meeting everybody in this community, meeting some of the devs that want to actually start to playing around in the sandbox with us and helping us to build this thing. Yeah, I mean, we're getting people's attention. We're pretty good at that. We're finding out what people want to actually do with this new kind of environment where you're allowed to do whatever you want. I think there's a lot of value in that. But yeah, our biggest bottlenecks right now, is getting the things built that should be for a developer super fucking easy to build, like really easy to build. But we'll have 1,000 users by tomorrow, right? Like that's like we just need to marry those things up. So I think starting this early off and figuring out how to get Shipple on a DAC or how to game that system. Worst case scenario, and that's the thing. The one that you have going on right now, we totally want to support you in every single way that we possibly can.
And vice versa, bro. Vice versa. So we were thinking, here's what I thought, like how you would find the people that really care will come in and be like, I don't know what this is, but I want to be a part of it. It's so much
100%.
fun.
I know 20 of them right now. Yeah.
Before I go to bed, this is coded. I like done deal. This is my proposal, and that's the thing. And so
that's amazing.
It's just the organization of it, and governance is still a thing. Like so, nobody's really ever figured out governance today. And even EOS, like, they had to get rid of their worker proposal system. And so that's totally fine because there's like, I don't know what happened there, but like, I think that we have a great opportunity, you and I and the Mortys and the bribe kids, I'm going to just call us the bribe kids. We have a great opportunity because we got nothing to lose. Like we have, there's not going to be like securities, anything. We're just having fun with a bunch of tokens that like, they're just fun tokens. And so, but we're going to build our community, right? So we're going to incentivize people to participate in Shipple. We're going to incentivize people to participate in the KrownDAC or Mortys. If Kurt wants to be a part of this, it'd be amazing. And
Kurt, buddy, I know you're watching this, Kurt.
I'm meeting with him actually to see if he'll be down because I think the bribe kid should collide. Like the bribe thing will be like a thing. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like bribe is now going to have a different connotation.
It already does. Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
it's just gonna like we have now lit up that word to where it's deemed as a bad thing back in the day. But we are building a community this way. So now, as people come in, like who can code, who can do graphics, who can do operations, who can whatever, those people will start to come your way. And I've been seeing it in our team where we'll randomly be at a restaurant and then some girl will be like, oh, I do UI UX, and then she'd be like, I don't know what this is, but I need this in my life, like because it's a vibration of joy, and which is like top. And so you're gonna attract the people that care about your project. You have that shared goal. So if you're in fitness, people that have that shared goal would want to participate because now they're gonna have stake in a company just for participating. Just for you can earn tokens just because you retweeted something. Right? And then your ideas are heard. So you're not just a cog in the wheel. You are heard and you are empowered. So, but there's not a lot. This is like a great giant experiment. And we are like the few people that are really trying. And I think that it starts with this like fun angle to it. So if we can come up with bribes, let's say crown bribes, Shipple bribes, where we kind of like come together and we build other communities and help other communities in the EOS ecosystem first and foremost.
Hell yeah.
And see what happens. We just have to see what happens.
We
don't know, bro. Like you do this for 3 months and I'd be like, I don't know what happens. But like if we really just go for it, I don't know. But I think these partnerships are going to be these, I call them bribe collabs. Like, why be really
I like it. Yeah. No, anytime, you know, as this community grows and we start collecting, you know, more people like you and Stella, frankly, and people that are like, again, Shipple is 85% crypto noobs. They've never had a cryptocurrency wallet ever, right? The first time they've ever done it is with this ridiculous project. I'm super proud of that, and we're going to keep encouraging that. But I completely agree. Anytime you can mesh two communities together that have that same sort of core set of values and excitement, it's only going to make good shit.
Yes.
Like, it's just like that, you know, and yes, we don't know exactly where it's going to go, but we kind of fucking do. Here's what it's going to be like. We don't know the details, but it's going to be cool.
Think about, like, we're rock bands, right? And like, your fans are our fans, and our fans are your fans.
Yeah.
Like, we kind of like play songs together, or like being like, hey, you know, this song called like Mom, and featuring you know, guitar player from Shipple. Like,
you know, I'm a musician, right?
Say again?
I'm a musician. Yeah, no, I'm a day job. Yeah, musician is my day job. I do it at night, but yeah.
So what's your deal, bro? Like,
yeah.
I knew you. What? So you play professional musician? Are you a recording artist?
I've done a couple of albums, but and it was a while ago. I'm fucking old, but most of what I've done is just cover gigs. Like, I live down in Florida, so you know, for the past, you know, and I you know, recorded in San Diego and did some stuff out there. But for the most of the last 13 years, I've been playing in like tiki bars, you know, making money just playing my guitar for a long time.
No kidding, bro. Yeah. Right on. Hey, something else that I connect with you with. Yeah, I went to music school. I studied guitar in college.
Nice. So you're probably way fucking better than me. I'm a hack.
No, I don't play anymore. This is what I play.
What's wrong with you? Come on now. I mean, that's
I stopped playing. I stopped playing the guitar. I don't know what happened. I love playing drums. I'm more a drummer.
All right.
And I played in some local bands. You know, I played in some local bands in LA for a while, and then now it's just like kind of like in this space, like in blockchain, and like trying to figure out how to grow communities and learning content creation. So I've been making content for the space, and that kind of took me this and that and this and that, and
go where you go.
And then you know, it's the EOS community. I've just kind of really been sucked in this world and understanding what it is, and that's it. I mean, EOS was the first DAC. Technically, it was like the first DAC because we're voting, right? And so, but they had to get rid of their worker proposal system. I'm sure it has something to do. They're kind of like they have bigger things to like solve, because
they've got to worry about securities laws and all that other fucking nonsense. That's the thing.
We don't have that.
Right. That's the other system is really desperately trying to keep control. That's what all this is about, right? Like, if it doesn't run through the idiotic, you know, sort of monolithic, you know, system in Wall Street, they want to make sure that we stop it. But yeah, no, I think this has to get, you know, experimented with and worked on, because it's an important idea. Like, you sort of get the sense that we don't know exactly how the DAC system is going to play out, but once we figure it out, it's going to be so much more powerful and flexible than the current system. Right, where people actually get to be, you know, valuable pieces, depending on how much they want to be a valuable piece, instead of, as you pointed out so eloquently, like just being cogs in a machine, which is what most people today are. And that's like, if we can free people up to do work that actually not only gets monetary value, but expresses value in the actual construct itself, and it's seamless and permissionless, what the fuck? That's an order of magnitude better than it is right now.
That's it. That's it.
Right.
It's
sign me up. Fuck it.
Yeah. I'm DACinizing. Screw it. Let's do it. So I think I have had this newfound, because I've been journeying around and, you know, making content and like, you know, and I've had like such brilliant opportunities present to me, and I've had to go through an own internal journey to like figure out, you know, I have my own things, but like when this when the DAC presented, and then I started to learn more and more about it, and it just by diving in, there's like I'm not I don't read, I like listening to things, and so I when I just dove into it, that's when I really learned. I learned hands-on. I mean, I'm a body worker, I work with my hands, so it's like learning hands-on is like the only way to go. And I think like when you document that journey as well, that you're learning, like even though just having the courage to step in and learn, and like, let me just go see what's in here, and I'll learn through osmosis. I learn if I'm just around the people that are into it.
Yep.
Then it'll be like, someone else will see that and I'm like, oh, well, that, well, that girl, that guy, like, they didn't really know anything. And now, like, they know so much. Like, how did that happen? And it's just that participation, and you're finding a tribe and finding a community. So a lot of these DACs, with these new companies that may DACinize, later in the future, or nonprofits that may DACinize, it becomes so democratic, and everyone feels like they're part of it, and you have a voice. When you have a voice, you're motivated to create, right? When you don't have a voice, you're like, nah. You're kind of like, I don't want to do that, and that's okay too. Respect, like, we have to respect our bodies, but like, yeah, it's that thing. It's shifting that paradigm to this other paradigm where everyone's got a voice and everyone's excited to create and participate because they all have a piece of it. They all have stake and equity within that. Like, everyone's building it together, and so it's an interesting, neat idea. And the governance thing, we do have the tech that's still like trying to figure out how to work that. It's not going to get built overnight.
Yep.
But we have to iterate, and I think it starts with, if the tech is not completely like solid right now, where we can be is building the community. And here comes Shipple, and this whole bribe situation came about, and I'm watching it, and I'm like studying, like, wow, how do you all grow? Like, this is crazy. And I'd be like, hey, someone like gave me Morty's on a bit bus. I think it was my first time I got Morty's, and I just like sprung up, and I was just like, oh my god, I got Morty's. And
yeah, dude, everyone loves that shit. You like,
how is it that I'm so excited? Right. Tokens that mean nothing, right? That don't have value, right? Currency value,
right?
Yeah, and I was like, so there's something in there, and so I'm like, all right, there's something within the community, and then Shipple, and then I met Stella. And then I saw my Shipple. I think you or her sent me like 250,000 Shipple.
That's our new bonus right now, yeah. Just for showing up at base camp.
Oh my god!
I know. Even my Aunt Gail, she's like an old lady. She doesn't know cryptocurrency from anything. She's never looked at it. Barely uses the internet. Whatever, right? But she wrote a book about anxiety. So we've been, people have been running through sort of self-help missions in Shipple Zen, which is one of the other tribes, right? So they've been running through little missions that she's been creating every day, and they get 40,000 Shipple for doing that. And she's like, okay, that's fun. But she's been around for 2 months. 3 weeks ago, she finally figured out how to send Shipple with the account that I set up for her, and she went fucking bananas. She's chilling everybody. She's like, this is amazing, Shipple. She saw they finished this, shill. Like, just it. Like, watching her wake up and lose her fucking mind as like a 65-year-old Canadian lady was like, what is happening right now? Like, that's just one story, right? Like that, there's a lady here that she's helping to run the Shipple.edu tribe, right? Because we got tribes everywhere now. There's like 15 of them. And that's like all the noobs are invited to go to the .edu tribe where you learn about blockchain. You learn about, like, we'll have, I'm definitely going to post this up there as well. So
you have educational stuff set up already. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm still like a noob to Shipple. So.
Well, no, oh yeah, no, that's where to go. So go to Shipple.edu. They've even got Stu, one of the best meme creators. She keeps winning. She wins meme wars about a third of the time with some of the funniest shit ever. So she actually started doing a Noob 101 thing. So she makes memes that are like, okay, what's blockchain? And then she makes like a funny meme, but actually describes what it is. What's a private key? What's this? There's a whole section just on that for brand new people. But then, of course, it kind of gives some explanations on what Shipple is.
Did you make this? Did you? Well, I can't pull up the site. It's Shipple.edu, right?
It's on Facebook. All this is on Facebook. So it's a group. But people get that wrong all the time. Because it does sound like a website.
We have to use so Shipple edu.
Yeah, Shipple.edu. I'll invite you, like, RFN.
Oh, there's a tribe.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Invite me to this because I have to answer questions. So and then the Yang Gang. Yang Gang is completely different from Basecamp.
Oh yeah. So this is the thing. If you go to Basecamp, so you're I just approved you there for .edu. So if you go to just normal Shipple Basecamp and you go to the About section, it's got in recommended groups, it's got a list of all of the active tribes right now.
Wow, and you have 15, you said. So I go to Basecamp.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Crypto noobs.
Yeah, if you hit About, there's 13 right now, recommended by admins. And then you just on see all, you'll be able to see them all. I think we're missing a couple for some reason.
Wait, where do I, sorry, my friend. Yeah, noob here. You have
no worries.
Shipple Basecamp, and I got like about discussion chats, announcement, members, events, videos, photos.
Click on about a boot. It's my Canadian showing.
Yeah. The Canadian kind of pops up in me every once in a while too, man. I've been hanging with so many of them. Okay.
So right a little bit down is recommended by admins. There's 13, and then you click on see all, and that'll show you.
I got them all.
We're definitely missing a couple, but yeah.
People are starting this on their own.
So this is how it works. People started asking me, like, hey, can I start a tribe? No, do it. Don't ask me. Like, I don't want you to ask me.
Yes.
Right? Like, if you want to start a tribe that like just celebrates freaking cat memes, I mean, fuck, that'd be a huge tribe already. If you look at Basecamp, there's hundreds of cat memes since last Friday. Like, I thought nothing would beat the Mars theme that we did last week. I was fucking wrong. Like,
oh my God.
Really love their cat memes. Some of them are just epically good. Anyway, not the point. So,
anybody wants
to start a tribe. For example, you could and should. If we start one around educating people around Krown, start a Shipple tribe, right? Yeah. The second that there's more than 10 people, I immediately fund you $1 million shill to a tribe account that I set up just for you. It's just
that's how that works.
Right?
Okay.
Got you. So I send $1 million to that, and now you can do your own missions from within that tribe, share them into Basecamp, do back and forth shit, whatever. Now, I'm actually giving out $1 million shill a week to every single tribe that does one simple thing. I need 3 memes from you to put into to meme wars every week.
Okay. 3 memes.
3 memes. That's it. And they could be shitty memes. I don't give a fuck. They could be horrible. But you need 10 people to join your tribe and 3 memes to keep continuing getting paid. And the more people you have in your group, the more I'm going to pay you every week. Right? So if you have 50 people in your group, it goes up to 3 million. If you have over 100, it goes up to 5 million, and on and on and on and on. Right?
It's amazing.
Now, right. And that's the thing. This is how we're doing the distribution. So any idea that wants to start a tribe, you just do it. And the second you're even remotely viable, we're going to give you a little bit of Shipple in your own tribe account. Right. And that way we want to have a separate tribe account because people are getting volunteers, making sure that people are like shilling people inside their own communities and making missions work and all that kind of thing. Right.
Got it.
And like when we do meme wars, as an example, if one of your memes wins, the creator, whoever that creator is, gets a couple million shill, but the tribe gets 3 million. Right. So we're constantly figuring out ways to fund these tribes out. And I'm setting it up so that there's going to be some amount of the monthly release of Shipple because we're doing $1 billion a month like Ripple did. These fucking assholes. Anyway, so some percentage of that will always be going out to all of the active tribes. Right? So the more tribes there are, the less there's going to be depending on what the budget is at the time. But it's always going to be relative to the number of people that are actually in the tribe itself. But I really feel very strongly anybody who wants to start one, do it. And then just go to Basecamp and be like, hey, who wants to come be part of this and like learn about this? And like, dude, you're awesome. Like that, I would join that tribe immediately. Like it would get to 10 in an hour.
That's neat. So then we'd need what? What do you need? Like Facebook groups or Telegram groups? Like what's your?
It's all on Facebook.
Like Krown Shipple or something like that. Like at Krown Shipple. So we'll blend it.
Like so, one of the tribes actually started on Telegram. I'm pretty ambivalent. Like right now, I mean, I can't wait to get off Facebook, period. But I think until Basecamp hits 10,000, like we're sort of centralizing everything on Facebook just because it's so integrated right now for us. And the systems are all there. Like you make a private group, you can invite people to the group. Like it's really
photos. Yeah. I get it. Like, and that's the thing, I've even heard that from Malcolm Cassell of Wax. We went up there to like, to shoot us to see his thing. And he's like, you can't just be like fully decentralized. Like there's some kind of aspect of centralization, for us to get to this other place. And so it's okay. It's okay that like, there's so much time that we have to be patient. And so it's okay that we're using Facebook, and I love Facebook. I'm not going to, I don't judge anything. I believe that these things were created for a reason. And the Facebook and the Googles out there were created for a reason so that we can like have a light bulb and like, oh, we can actually, and then after social media and the internet, right? Like blockchain. And it's like, oh, we can actually take our power back and get paid for our data. Oh, we didn't even know. And if these things weren't built, we wouldn't even have, you know what I mean? So it's like,
that's a really good point.
We had to come to assist with that, to turn the light bulb, to unveil more stuff for us. And so I think, I think it's a neat it's a neat journey. And
Yep.
you know, I think this is great. I'm so stoked. Like, yeah, you know, as ridiculous as it can be. So you guys are just meme like centric, meme everything meme.
So that's basically sort of the organizing principle of how like I needed to make a way. So, okay, you can make a group. I want to make sure you're getting funded. I'm not going to fund groups that aren't active. So that's sort of the primary thing, right? But it's also an amazing way to like to grow the community and get attention. Because that's like, honestly, any currency, any token, anything. If you don't have consistent community action, you're going to die. That's just that is a fact, right?
That's
and
right.
I mean, I made a meme about the one with the guy looking after the girl, and it's like Shipple gurus and Ripple and fucking Shipple or whatever, right? But that and it wasn't on purpose. It wasn't intentional. Suddenly, everybody was making memes. I'm like, well, this is working, right? So it just organically became this thing that allows us to keep communicating goofy fucking ideas. But every single one of them is a Shipple poster by design. There's now hundreds of posters out there with two things that are non-negotiable. Shipple.io has to be somewhere on it or you won't get paid. And your actual EOS account has to be in the image. That way, 2 years from now, somebody sends me, you know, a Ky original meme, and I'm going to fucking tip that thing because I can. And 3 or 4 years from now, we're going to have AIs that'll be able to actually spot it in the meme itself and do one-click payments. I'm talking to Jacques from EOS Discussions app exactly about this. He said, what's the biggest thing that you need? I'm like, honestly, like I've got interns up the fucking wazoo that are spending huge amounts of time going through every single one of the threads where we have missions. Like we've got 13 active tribes. Every single one of them has active missions. Every single one of them has people that are actually doing the thing and needs to get shilled, right?
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too. Like we use shill, and like that used to be a bad word, and now it's not. Nobody even thinks of it as a bad word anymore.
Yes, that's the way you were.
Yeah, we just
shifting 100%.
Paradigms. Yeah, which is super fun. So he's going to help us create a system where, you know, missions that we run on the EOS Discussions app, it'll be one-click payments, right? So that's one of the reasons why we're going to start moving at least some of our activity over to the EOS Discussions app, and things that come out of that is that what takes, you know, there's missions where we've had people, like literally 150 people over the course of a couple of days complete this mission, and every single one of them, you know, we have more than one intern because we had to, like we need to have like a good dozen people actively paying people for stuff. So there's a process, right? So you'll see somebody needs to get paid for something. And if it's a really active thing, you say, hey, shill inbound, because otherwise somebody else is going to do it and you're going to double it up. So that takes some time. Then you go to your EOS wallet, you type in there, or you copy in their EOS account, you pay them, you come back and you say hashtag shilled 5K, 10K, whatever, right? So it's a 3-part process.
Yeah.
Now, imagine being able to go through it and having a post that says, okay, this post is attached to a payment of 10,000 shill if it's completed. So now, as the intern, or we call them shill masters, as the shill master, all you need to do is go through, okay, does that screenshot show a Twitter share? Yes, click, paid, click, paid, click, paid, click, paid. It's going to be so fast, right? So it's still going to have, like, with the people are the AI that are the go, no go, right? Like they need to decide, okay, whatever mission this is, because it's very dynamic and flexible, it could be anything, you know, did they actually complete this thing? Yes, paid. Now, where we can automate it, that's where the apps are going to come in, right? The fitness app is really just a proof of concept to say that you can go from, you know, steps that register on your phone or on your watch to an API to actually getting a Shipple payment, right? So that's all going to be seamless and it's going to be automatic. But there's a lot of other things that we can do with that. Right. This morning, I just started a meditation practice. We're going to make a DAP that's going to come out of Shipple Zen that if you are in the app and you actually sit there and have the entire audio play for 10 minutes, it'll automatically shill you when you're done.
Amazing.
Right.
Amazing.
But that times in it, there's like 100,000 things we could do like that, but we just haven't.
Because that was like my biggest question was like, how do you automate this process and how do you like have a proof of shill?
Yeah. So most of that, and this is the thing, like we're never going to get rid of the people power aspect of it because that's really important to what we're doing. Right. Mm-hmm. So having people be integral to that process is something that, you know, we're going to find things that we can automate and make quicker, but we're not really ever going to get rid of it. And we don't want to, because it's gamified, right? Like this is all part of the process. So there's always going to be elements of that. But the things that are really, really simple, I mean, you can plug an API key into, Samsung Health, for example, and pull the number out. How many steps did this person do, right? And that goes into an account that we create that is attached to their EOS account and automatically pays them Shipple whenever they hit a certain number.
Wow.
But then,
I was thinking like for now, like spreadsheets, and then like a kind of a scorecard.
Yeah. Well, if you go to Shipple Fitness now, right now we are doing that with a weight challenge. So, we've got giant spreadsheets all over the place. Yeah. So if you lose 1 pound in a week, you get 200K. If you lose 2 pounds in a week, you get $1 million.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's all spreadsheet. It's all work intensive. Kimberly Kay has been running Shipple Fitness for us for the last little while, and she's been doing.
One person is running Shipple Fitness right now.
Yeah, I think she's got a little bit of help. We should get her more, but she's been rocking it so much.
How have you guys been finding your help?
We just say like, hey, does anyone want to do this? And then they're like, yep, and then they do it.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's been amazing.
That is kind of like a worker proposal, but like by word.
Yeah, well, and so this is the thing too. I finally had to explain to people because she's got control of the Shipple Fitness tribe account, right? Yeah. And we pay that tribe account regularly. And I'm actually doing the weight because the weight loss is so much shill that I'm actually doing that separately as a little test project.
Yeah.
But I finally had to explain it. You guys know that you have to pay yourselves from this, right? And they're like, what?
With like, Shipple.
Yeah. You get $1 million, or I mean, fitness is over 100. You get 5 million a week right now, right? You have to pay yourselves and pay yourselves first. Well, how much do we pay ourselves? I don't fucking care, right?
Wow.
It's not on me to do it. Now, if you pay yourself the entire amount, you have nothing to show people, and your tribe will die, right?
Yeah.
So where I would think about that is, think about it in terms of maybe doing like 20% to your development team and really desperately try to pay out the rest to the tribe, because that's going to cause attention and momentum and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then your tribe funding could potentially go up, right? And so that's kind of where people are landing, but I'm not making it a rule. Like I'm dead serious about the fact that you can make that up and experiment with it, because we don't know what the best sort of balance is. And I want people just fucking with it and experimenting with it. But so people are making shill, running these and running and growing these tribes.
Wow, this is genius. I mean, I look at how you guys have grown. This is crazy. And this is amazing. I'm actually really learning a lot from you. Like I'm so grateful that you got in this call with me, man. This is I kind of now want to know, like, where did this idea come from? Like, how did you I'm so curious in this story of how you conceptualize this.
I can tell you for a fact that none of this was thought of before we started. This has all been organic, right? Like, we know we want to grow the community. We know we want to incentivize people to do things through meaningful transactions, right? I want every transaction that we do to be meaningful. We had to come up with tribes because Basecamp turned into a fucking mess. So tribes was really the way. Like, I knew we had to decentralize at least a little bit, because we had the Filipinos doing like 20 Filipino posts a day, and the Shipple Zen started, and people were doing that, and then freaking Shipple Fitness, all of that in Basecamp was like, what the fuck is going on? This is crazy. You couldn't track anything, right? And different countries wanted to do things, and then somebody said, well, what if we all had our own country tribes and we all had a big, huge meme competition? I'm like, fuck, that sounds great. Let's do that, right? So and that's when I knew we were going to do the tribe thing, but I wanted to figure out how to create a situation, an incentive for the tribes to be a funnel to come back to build Basecamp, because our primary number is like we are eventually going to list Shipple, right? But we're not going to do it until Basecamp hits 10,000. We won't even consider it until Basecamp hits 10,000. So now we've got people expressing themselves, whether, like country teams for Meme Wars or Shipple Zen or Shipple Fitness or Shipple.edu, and they're all incentivized and paid more if they grow their own groups. And as they grow the groups, and a lot of that's going to come from Basecamp, but a lot of that now is coming just from regular people that want to join them, right? Mm-hmm. And every single week they're invited back to Basecamp to come to Meme Wars at 9:00 Eastern Standard Time. And so it's this way that we can follow every path that Shipple might go down, and not making any rules about what those paths are, unless you're a dick. If you're a dick, I won't fund you, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're, you know, if you want to start the Nazi tribe, I mean, you can start it, but I will not pay you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Just because I mean, part of the whole community ethos is we really want to be a positive force in the world. I mean, we got a charity tribe that, you know, that was the first sort of expression of real value, right? The day after I had launched Shipple and announced it, I gave 10 million to a friend of mine and said, okay, nobody in the world has shill yet except for you. Do something good with it. He said, what do you want me to do? I don't care. Do something, anything, follow your heart. So you know what he did? 2:00 in the morning. This is a true story. 2:00 in the morning. He posts on Shipple Basecamp, hey, I know all you guys want some Shipple. Everybody's going to get a tiny little bit pretty soon. But anybody who donates more than $20 to the local housing first charity, a homelessness charity, the first 10 people are going to get $1 million Shipple each. And by 3:30 in the morning, it was gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how much did you give him?
So I gave him 10 million. He raised 200. He raised $200.
$200. Yeah.
Right. And he actually ended up setting the price. Because like right now, if you want to buy Shipple, I actually will sell it to people that want to buy it OTC just because we wanted to set a baseline price. So it's $10 $1 million, right? Which is actually less than what he got in that very first transaction that went to charity.
Yeah, because he gave $1 million for $20.
Yep. So
okay, wow, bro. And so this is exactly like this kind of really does sound like more like a DAC. Because you're just like
we just don't have the 100%.
proposals.
Yeah, right, exactly. And that like we absolutely need that system to organize because and what's interesting is we've been organizing the way Shipple works on a case by case basis, right? We sort of come into this issue that we need to solve. Basecamp is too full, it's too crazy, right? And we want to have the organizing principle of going down every possible use case and avenue for people to have fun with Shipple and figure out what you could potentially do with it. So get the fuck out of here, go do your own thing, right? And so that's become this massive thing that is sort of creating a decentralized but still centralized kind of web or whatever.
Yeah. Well, there's that word autonomous.
Right. And then
like do whatever you want.
Yes. And
that means something to you.
Right. And people are incentivized to do their own thing. Like I really wanted to make sure that people that who are doing so much work on this are doing that. And yeah, it seems like the DAC from your description is really just right. It's just a much more organized version of what I'm already doing. And that's why we need it. Like we need to play in that sandbox for sure. Because it sounds like a way to really hone in on what we've been kind of just doing haphazardly, but intentionally. And I definitely want to explore that. It sounds really interesting.
Well, I feel like you're actually still ahead of the game because you've actually already been playing with the we had the tech and we're still like building the tech, and so as far as the voting and stuff like that, and it's launched on Main Net, so it's like it's very technical on that side. But in the community building though, bro, like I know that it must be you have to kind of hand do it first. Yep. You have to manually kind of do it first, and you've already like figured it out. Like, or you've been like playing with like
a version, yeah. Because I think there's a lot of different ways.
Yeah, and so like I think you're like even way ahead of the game. Like I'm just getting started. Like the Krown Shipple or Krown Bribe or whatever we're gonna go call it is very new, and that like I just came up with this because I've been inspired by Morty's and Shipple, and I'm like, if these guys are growing community by having fun, I think we can do it too. And why not work with them and make this bribe scene a thing where I bet you more people would want to go do bribes like we're doing because we've kind of paved the way. Like, so you are like way ahead of the game. You're a bit of a, you and Morty's are like the true pioneers of this game, of the bribe game. And, and just to see that growth is really immense, and the community is having fun, and that's you have done like a lot of work, so I'm learning a lot from you. I'm so honored, like that you're open to working together and like just bribe around. I have so many ideas of growth, but
this thing like
I'm overwhelmed on how to accomplish it in the organization side because I'm such a that like
you got to pick one thing. That's always the biggest thing, and I think you're on the right track. Because I think the doing the collabs is definitely low hanging fruit, high ROI, right? So one of the things that we did with Kurt is we had a meme competition for D-mail, right? And so he footed us a bunch of D-mail tokens, and I basically went to Basecamp and say, hey, we're gonna pay. I just chopped it up, like we're gonna pay like 80% out, to 10, whatever, like little bits per each meme, and then we're gonna have a meme competition to pick the top three. Top three are all gonna get a good lion's share of not only mail tokens but Shipple as well, right? So we could absolutely do that with Krown. People watching this video, they can kind of get a sense of what's going on. And obviously the obvious connections, I think, to me, about why we need to be working with you to really learn more about this and to apply it. And then make some freaking Krown Shipple crossover memes. We did that with Morty's too. Like you can go into like we did this right off the bat, because honestly I was trying to impress Kurt. I mean, most of my time in EOS is just secretly trying to impress Kurt the whole time because he's such a fucking genius. Most of it hasn't worked, but no, I love that guy. He's awesome. But we were doing that, right? Because I think it seems like such a natural combination. Like we are doing such similar ideas. And so we had people making, Shipple for shill and Morty's for bribe and memes. There's like dozens of them. And they're all pretty funny. But the mail ones worked really well, and I know if we do that with Krown and have like shill people for retweeting it, for getting the I'll stick a significant budget on that. I think it'll be a really good idea.
I think it'll be really fun. Yeah, I think it'll be really fun. So that now we just got to it's got to be a group, right? It's got to be like a kind of group. So yeah, I think I have to. It has to be kind of all plotted out. It's like this is like such a challenge for Primo because I'm like such an ideas person, but like I like the details. Like it's so difficult. I will.
This is where we put like a little working group together, right? Okay, what's the goal? We're gonna do a collaboration. Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to start your own Shipple tribe?
Yeah, do we want to start our own Shipple tribe, or is it more efficient if we just kind of hop onto another tribe?
I think there's two ways that we could think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't think there's a downside to doing it, but we might not need to do it now, right? So what we could do, we're gonna run the original sort of crossover competition right out of Basecamp because I want this to get a lot of attention, right?
Yeah.
But I think there's a natural collaboration that can happen with Shipple.edu because people are learning about it, right? And a lot of this is educating through doing, which I think is a perfect fit there, right?
Yeah.
And so like a month from now, when everybody knows what Krown is and what DAC is, and we've got 20 freaking DAC Shipple crossover memes or Krown Shipple crossover memes or what have you, then when we make the post like, hey, Ky just created a Krown Shipple thing, it'll have 20 people in 5 seconds, right? So we can that'll.
Yeah, because I was thinking of how I was gonna do it was I was gonna help you grow your tribe. Like I was gonna be like,
that does though,
hey,
right?
Join Shipple Basecamp for this much Krown and this much Shipple.
Hell yeah!
Hey, join this, join every Krown or Shipple tribe. So join every Shipple tribe on Facebook, or hey, retweet this meme from Shipple and that's sort of like. And I was going to do over the next 3 months because I was going to do kind of 2 a week. So there's going to be 26 of these, but they're going to be video bribes. So I'm going to go on video and ask for the bribe. And so, because video just does better always, right?
Yeah.
And so hey guys, here's bribe number 1. I'm going to have really simple ones. Just sign up for a newsletter and receive this much Krown. Hey, bribe number 2, we have collaborated with the Shipple Yang Gang or Shipple Basecamp guys. All you have to do is go and join their Facebook group and make a meme or something like that. And so we're gonna I kind of want to basically be pushing it that way, and then it'll just kind of work on its own. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that. So then it's not our own, but our own tribe just yet. But we want to just basically promote you and pay people to participate in your tribe.
Right. Yeah, no, and I think this is a bit of a special case. Ordinarily, how that would work is, if you started a tribe, I end up giving you $1 million shill, and now you have a budget, right? Got it.
Yeah, because I don't have a budget yet. You're right.
Now that said, if you're talking about making let's say 26 Shipple Krown crossover videos, I pay for content too, right? So, and you know, I'll just put, you know, a starting budget for this particular thing of like 5 or 10 million. We can talk about that off air. And basically just let it rock and roll, and then we can see how, you know, it would evolve. And that's the thing, like, you know, especially if we do like a crossover meme thing, which you know, we're good at that. So as a community, I think that's a real thing we definitely should do.
Cats and crowns.
Hell yeah, right? Like I think cats and crowns. Fuck, that's fucking funny, dude. Son of a bitch. The cat memes are they're cracking me the hell up.
Yeah, these cats.
I can't even deal with it, dude. And we've got so many ideas. We've got so many ideas for themes now. That
the Cybercook twins will be so all over me.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be bananas. So yeah, I mean, I think first step, like any mission you want to do, you let me know what you need to accomplish it, and we'll get that done. I think I'll probably set you up a tribe account anyway. That way we can funnel all of the missions that we do through the collaboration through that account, which is just a really good way to have it all embedded in the blockchain. We know exactly what happened. We knew where it was, all that kind of thing. So yeah. And then really, like any mission that you have, like any video mission that you have that mentions Shipple is going to go straight to Basecamp anyway, but we can launch it on the Twitter and port the missions to the Instagram that we're starting to grow, and obviously Telegram, we can throw it in there as well. Yeah, dude. I think,
and it'll be like unique ones, but it'll always be, so the 26 will always have, so it's like you guys will always be on the 20, like, you know, we can do it that way. We're always constantly giving Shipple and Krown.
Okay, awesome. And seriously,
I was thinking like this too. I was thinking like, or helping other tribes grow. So let's say, all right, download Link's beta desktop, like download Link's desktop and get Shipple and get Krown. So now we're helping their community and onboarding people to wallets. Like, hey, go to Shipple edu and watch their videos. And if you watch a video, and I just don't know how to prove that part.
So the way you do it. So if the way that I would do that is, if you like, for example, one of the favorite videos, and I'm pretty sure it's at .edu. There's a few of them. So anyway, like, you basically go and comment on that actual video and screenshot that.
Comment in the screenshot. What about a quiz?
Oh,
we know we actually watched the thing, so I thought, like, let's quiz them.
Yeah, if you could do that, participation will drop, but I love the idea.
Yeah, participation will drop, so just a comment. Okay.
At the same time, though, we could increase the price and say the first 20 people, like, just if you have 1 million or whatever it is, if you have a certain budget for that particular mission, you know, if you did one before that didn't get as much participation, just jack up the price and say, like, hey, listen, only 2 people did this last time. The first 20 are going to make bank, and the rest you can go fuck yourselves, right? Like that. You know, you can start to experiment with whatever the price balance is. Yeah, there's a certain amount of shill that people will basically do anything for. You just need to find out what that amount is.
Do you think this is gonna? You know, we don't have as much tokens as you guys do. So, like, are you in the trillions? Like, we don't.
No. But it's too high. It's dumb. We copied Ripple, so it's dumb from the start. No, we have 100 billion.
Okay, so
and it's circulating right now
as much as you do. So our number will be like off.
It doesn't matter. People aren't going to care.
Yeah.
No, you could get, and this is what I tried to explain to people. If you give somebody 1 shill instead of 10,000, they're going to have 90% of the same reaction. Right. So, but it's important for people to understand that there's different circulating supplies on these things as well. So if they get 2 Krown or whatever, I mean, we could, you know, down the road, like, Krown's just harder to get. And that scarcity model, like, we talk about that all the time on all the videos. Scarcity is part of this. You will not value anything unless there is some kind of scarcity quotient, which is why, I mean, the second we hit 2,000 at Basecamp, we're having the halving event. Every reward all across the Shipple ecosystem is getting cut in half. OTC price is doubling.
Yeah.
And I'm telling people right off the bat, like, we're just doing that because it's going to work. Yeah. Suddenly, when you think about, especially after staking, people are going to, like, be able to remove their bags from their immediate view, which is also like another way to ramp up scarcity. People are going to want way more. You know, there's going to be that sense that even though you know that we're doing it to you and we're doing it together, it's still going to make you feel like Shipple has got a higher value because there's less of it circulating around.
Yeah, you and I are definitely on the same page, because I thought about when we did the bribe to do it like having like Bitcoin and like, you know, and make it smaller and smaller, but think we flipped it to where it gets bigger and bigger on the first 26 anyway, on the first 26 missions that you're gonna call it, or bribes.
Right.
So,
but the next 3 months, you can cut the whole thing in half.
On the next, because I have a 10 million budget for this 3 months. So I'm gonna go, and then I'm gonna go the next 3 months. It'll be 5. I got you, bro. What's
up, sister? And that's the thing, like, you can do that forever, right? Like, that's like, yeah.
And then that's micro payments, micro crowns, and micro shipples.
Yep.
Wow, bro. That's incredible. This is fun. This is really fun. Okay. I think so the missions are going to be not just me, but like, I really want to kind of onboard people to wallets and tools.
Yeah, 100%. And I want to talk to Jem as well about maybe getting some, because we're testing out the token. There's tons of people who are using Token Pocket in Asia. It's really, really popular over there.
Token Pocket not is most popular in Asia for sure. Like not.
Okay.
Like, no, like what do you?
No, I just started getting requests to make sure that Shipple worked on it like a couple weeks ago. I don't know anything about it, but I had the call before this was with Jem, who's running the EOS Philippines thing, and she's actually the admin for the English Token Pocket Telegram.
Oh wow, amazing!
Yeah. So and they've got their own token, like Link's token or whatever. Yeah. So and I want to learn about it. Like, our people are using it, so I want to. We really only support the EOS Links wallet as a rule, just to keep it simple. We're going to learn about that stuff, and if we could get some Token Pocket tokens, we could run a mission for that just for the hell of it. I was just talking to the Sense Chat people on Twitter. Like, we want to run something with them as well. So if we're running them all at the same time, and obviously anywhere where you can have Shipple and Morty's in the same picture, like, we'll make a whole other set of crossover memes, because all of our people still love Morty's. We still support everything that they're doing, even though they hate us. It's so sad.
I don't think so.
They totally don't. Dude, I'm busting balls. They totally don't.
Oh no. No, I think we're gonna it's gonna be such a profound, like, it is gonna be a profound collaboration. I feel
100%. Yeah. Across the board.
The bribe thing is gonna be a thing, like the dab. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, you got bribed, like, like that's sort of like where we're seeing this in the later, and you'll see like other people will start. They do bounties and giveaways and things, but like the bribe thing, like, really incentivizes participation, and I think this will be a trend.
I think it already is, right? Like that. Yeah.
More people are coming in. I mean, look, I'm coming in.
Yeah. And there's, like, the weirdest thing about it is that it works, right? Like,
yes.
Like people are so in, like, the amount of time and energy and heart that people are putting into memes and running tribes and then is fucking mind-boggling. Like, it really is. And it's just getting started. And there's a real demand to open this up, and I can't wait to start really exploring the DAC thing, because it really is this sort of permissionless way to take, like, a corporation as a construct works. It's just shitty for the people on the bottom, right? Like, it's organizing value and creative capacity and collaboration of humans and dissemination of resources. Like, there's a reason why we live in a hyper-technological society. It's not because we didn't come up with corporations. It's good at that, right? But the idea that we could take all of that in the same way that Bitcoin deconstructed the essence of value itself, we can start deconstructing the way that we organize this so that it is permissionless and people can actually do it without any kind of centralized authority. I mean, that shit's fucking heady right there.
Right? Imagine if Apple became a DAC. Can you imagine?
Well, no. Imagine the company that comes up that's a DAC that crushes Apple cold.
There you go.
Because Apple will never change, right? Like, these the legacy companies have too much momentum with the way that they're running, and I'd love to be proven wrong about that. But
they won't be able to compete.
They won't change, right? Yeah. You heard about the Kodak back in the day?
I guess maybe I'm hopeful, thinking that.
No, I love the idea. I'm maybe cynical. So yeah, like, there was a guy working for Kodak back in the 80s who came and showed them like a little 8-bit digital computer picture and said, like, this is going to scale with technology. It's going to be amazing. You guys really need to get into digital photography. And they're like, go fuck off, right? They literally, that guy worked there. They would have owned the patent, right? You know where Kodak is now? Nowhere. What? They're dead. They died.
Kodak is no more.
There a has-been. They got in 10 years late on a technology that they literally could have owned the patent on, because they couldn't see it coming. right? They didn't think they were in the picture business. They thought they were in, like, because every single Kodak shop had the physical film and chemicals. That was their whole business model. So they couldn't think of something that would utterly destroy, like, the blockbuster Netflix thing, right? Like, the technology is far past that, right? Yeah. And I feel like we're at this weird intersection now with blockchain, because we can start codifying things to the point where they're just math and permissionless. All the kind of organizing structures that we've had, from businesses to corporations to governments to whatever, all of that can now be set into this thing where we have the basic set of rules, which we can also change if we really want to, right? Then everybody can basically apply whatever force to that they want. And in the same way that people are incentivizing and just dumping hours and energy and awesome creativity into something like Shipple or Morty's or Krown, into anything, like, what does that even look like? Yeah. Right? Yeah. I want to find out.
I want to find out. I want to find out.
It's clear there's a ton of energy in this, and it's begging for ways to get organized in ways that will let people experiment with it. And I think at the core, that's what Shipple is. Like, I'm staring at a freaking meme that Stella made right now. It's like, dude, I'm gonna share the screen on this because it's just so fucking good. I love this freaking meme.
Let me see.
Hold on. So it's a variation on the very first one, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, and this is the thing. Like, it started out as a freaking joke. It was just, but it's just not. And and it stopped being a joke almost immediately, which is incredible.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's wow. She is.
She's awesome, man.
She just oh yeah. So I just pinged her on Twitter, and I'm gonna be talking with Stella as well.
Cool.
Really soon we might because this is really like with you guys, but so the meme things, like, I mean, we can do memes, but like, I'm really thinking about like the education angle, like health angle, like, and you talked about fitness, so I'm like, all right, I think we might like have something on the breath work, onto something. It's just like how you prove it, but I heard something from you that it has to be easy, otherwise participation goes down, and you've seen that.
And another important part of that.
Yeah.
And this is sometimes hard for people, but it's so clutch. Just trust people.
Got it.
Just trust them. Because people really respond to that. There will be a slippage rate, right? But so far, there's been such a small slippage rate, because this is a standing principle rule at Shipple. If, like, we will spend almost no time making sure that you did. If you say you did and we get kind of proof, we're going to let it go, right? And we've had to chide people exactly twice in 2 months with 1,700 people doing missions all the time.
Amazing.
Right? Like, people did try to game the system, but we're just like, hey, like, we see you, right? But it seriously barely ever happened. And people started to get the sense, because people feel very intently about fairness. Like our interns, the show masters, like, oh my God, this guy's totally trying to fuck with us. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, just hold on. Give him the benefit of the doubt, pay him anyway. Because honestly, like, if you, as somebody who's giving your heart and your energy to this, have to spend all your time trying to figure out if they did it, you're wasting your time and you're wasting your energy. Because if 90% of people are being totally cool, and it probably 98% will, the amount of slippage you're going to have on any mission is completely and totally inconsequential compared to the value that you get by just trusting people.
That's it. And it's easier that way anyway. It's less weight on you, that like, okay, so I think this is going to be phenomenal, man. I agree. I'm so stoked, like, to really be on this call with you. I know we've been on for like over an hour, so
dude,
like, we have a whole podcast.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like, Stella and we should record all of our conversations too. We haven't been, but one time we got it was like 3 hours later, and we had literally just fixed the entire world by the end of it. I think I can't remember a lot of it. It was good.
The world is fine. The world is fine.
Yeah,
we just fixed it, guys.
Exactly.
Time to take a nap now.
Hey, is it on here? Oh, it's not on here. What the other image on here? The whole motto for Shipple is make funny, do good, take naps.
No way. It's so good.
Yep.
I love naps. Oh man, I love you, man. This is awesome. This has been really incredible. What I'm gonna do is I think, like, as far as my next steps is I just we'll talk offline as far as like budgets and stuff and what we want to do. And then, cause we're still a small growing community, but like, again, I'm so stoked that you're willing to be part of the experiment. So we'll, it has to be creative, and I got to make all these videos basically. So I got to make all these videos to like, the shill, but like now I know that like, and then what is the best, like, do I send people to Basecamp? Do I send people to,
yeah, I mean, the having people come to Basecamp is definitely really important, but I think you could probably design a new mission around piggybacking off missions that already exist, right? That's like an easy way for you to write some of the 26. So as an example, right, if you post 10,000, an image of 10,000 steps, what you really need to do is join Shipple Fitness, post it on their thread, you're going to get Shipple and Krown. If you want to do it independently, you can do it too. Like whatever way works simplest. But you can directing people to different ideas because they might connect more with Shipple Fitness than just with Basecamp. What the fuck is that? Or they like meditating, or gratitude practice that we do, Shipple Zen. So there's ways to send people to where they would want to go anyway to direct what they like. Right. Got
it. So I'll study the tribes that you have so far and see, and then be like, hey guys, these guys are doing this thing. If you want to also post your steps, post it in this Facebook group and get shill and Krown, and then it'll be like, okay, that's a great way as well.
And especially like if they do it, they get Shipple. If they retweet it, they get Krown. And more Shipple. I mean, I'll fucking fund even more, because that's the thing. Like, if they post that in the Shipple tribe, they're gonna get paid from the tribe account, right? Whatever the mission happens to be.
Got it.
So you don't have to pay any of that. But if they send you proof that they did that thing, and then if that's on Twitter or whatever, then that's like another attention. That's another piece of visibility, and then maybe that can be part of your mission, like as an extra thing.
So like split it up.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see. There's so many ideas.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you complete any mission inside of a tribe, they will pay you.
They're paid already.
You don't have to, right?
Yeah.
But if they then share that out and say, hey man, I heard about this from Krown. It's amazing. I just got shilled for freaking walking. What the hell? And now you can if they and like tag 3 people, however you want to do it on Twitter, then that can be.
They're gonna get Krown. Yeah, I dig it. So it's like we're shilling your shills.
Yeah.
For Krown. Yeah, we also wanted to like incentivize people to vote, like stake votes.
Yes.
So, like
we need to learn how to do that, because that's a system that like I need to produce that system for the mom token. Like I absolutely need to, and I think it would be a natural thing to do. Like Shipple needs to be a DAC anyway. Like it really.
It already is. It just
we just haven't formalized it. Like the workflow, for people that I'd love to have. Man, I could make a work request sheet that's like 30 things long right now. Right. Yeah. So having and budget them all with shill, and just whoever wants to pick it up. And that list will only grow. Right. So having that system set up, I think it's going to be really amazing. Yeah, and I mean,
that's it.
And we could probably do like tribe payments and shit through that too, as far as creating the organizational structure that way. Yeah. I got to look into it. It sounds really fascinating.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Dude.
It's phenomenal. Amazing conversation, man. This is really great. So we'll talk more like offline. And then I'm gonna start like planning out my stuff and which videos I'm gonna create, and there's only 26 right now for the first 3 months, so that goes fast. So I have to do some studying and learning and whatnot. So
yeah, definitely make a meme crossover thing for early, because then we'll have lots of images to share with people, because I think people will.
Cats and crowns.
Well, cats is done tomorrow. Right?
Oh, cats are done.
Yeah. But I mean, you could still do it. I mean, people have made so many cat memes. It's not like they can't make more. They could totally make more. And Cats and Crowns does sound really good. But yeah, so Meme Wars is tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to.
9 p.m. Eastern, right?
Yeah,
right here on Basecamp.
Yes, and we do a Zoom call and invite all the tribal elders. I would love for you to come in and tell us a little bit about Krown and what you're going to be doing. As a way to sort of prime the community for doing that stuff.
That we're about to do this.
All right. So Basecamp's they're gonna be all about it. I think it's gonna be really.
So it'll be 6 p.m. my time tomorrow.
Yes. Yep. And yeah, I'm gonna throw this video up on. We don't have a whole lot up there, but it'll be up on YouTube, so you can.
Oh yeah, put it up. Like yeah, all about transparency. Heck yeah, heck yeah. How cool, man.
All right.
Love and light, Corey. You're so awesome. I'm so glad you reached out. And yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. And we'll talk to you soon, and we'll definitely see you tomorrow.
All right.
Because we're all on Zoom.
Kai, great chatting with you, man. You're rad.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Much aloha.
Bye.